Always. There you go.
Hello.
Evening all.
Look at that. Bang on time and not one bugger's there.
I'm going to share.
Oh, not
They've heard
even
I'm back,
Rita.
so they've heard I'm back, so they're not bothered tuning in.
Not even Rita.
Not even Oh, hang on. There's
How's she
two people.
going on?
Hello. Two people. Oh, that's good. Two people there in the chat. If you're
Yeah.
out there, can you do us a favour, please? Can you put something in the StreamYard or put it onto the comment section so we know that you're out there and we're broadcasting loud and clear? And thank you very much for it. And good evening to you. How are you then, Tim? Are you good?
I am good. Can you see those? Can you see those up there on the wall?
Oh, I like it. I
There-
like it.
I got them from the charity shop. Two murals of Marvel.
Oh, they're cool.
They're
At
only
the charity shop. Evening, Brian.
Yeah, only a couple of quid. They're quite big. They look smaller on your screen there, but
Oh, they're quite cool.
they're
I like
quite
those.
big. Yeah.
Oh, you've got a spider up there as well.
Pardon?
You got a spider up there as well.
Yeah, spiders are everywhere in this room. I think I've got 11 spiders in this room.
You love a spider, man.
I've got a red fang. Oh, I'm so pleased with her.
Oh, they're lovely, aren't they?
It's a wild caught one, and tipped over. It's only a juvenile, but they got it's gorgeous.
They're stunning,
mate.
aren't they? I've had quite. I mean, over the years, the ones I've had over the years have mainly been wild caught.
Yeah,
I think, to be honest with you. So you're doing well then, Tim.
I am.
Good. And
I've
you,
been-
Eric, how are you doing, bud?
Really good.
You look like you're shearing out there, Eric. You got your head
Yeah, I
down.
am.
Or you're playing
That's
bingo.
essentially
What's he doing?
Bingo.
Sure. bingo.
Are you playing bingo with Rita in the kitchen?
If he shouts house halfway through one of my dialogues. Good evening, young Rita. Good evening, Mr. Southey. I hope you and your good lady wife are doing very well. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Weird Room. And we are broadcasting through the Simply Spooky Network. And we're also going to be broadcasting through the Things Network. I must keep reminding myself about that because I keep forgetting that we are going through that. So that's a new acquisition to us in the last few weeks. So, yeah, so I haven't been there for a couple of weeks, and I've been out the picture because I've been away. I would call it a holiday, but it rained most of the time. So, yeah, but never mind. So, good evening, Nettie, and good evening, young Bobby. I hope you're doing well over there.
Hello.
In Florida. Oh, God, I wish I was in Florida now. I can imagine the heat. Lovely. It's been all right here, but not
I'm
as
in
nice
Wisconsin.
as
I'm as hot as can be right now.
You are, bud?
I'm in Wisconsin. I'm as warm as can be right now.
Is it really hot in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
You get it bad there, don't you, with the heat, and then you get extreme weather with the snow and stuff, don't you?
Yep. Can be 35 below zero, and I think the most we've gotten a couple years ago was like 12 feet of snow.
Wow! Bloody hell! That's a lot.
Yeah.
If it's too hot here, the roads melt, and you stick to them. And if it's cold here, you can't. Well, if it's cold here, you can't go out because everybody ends up with the flu. So we're not really good with the weather.
If we have 4 millimeters of snow here, the whole country comes to a standstill.
Oh man, I'll get the snowshoes out. I'm like Captain Scott the Antarctic when I go out.
Yeah.
Terrible. So good evening, everybody. And this, normally what we do is we'll have a little chat. We'll pick a subject every week, and we normally like to pick things from maybe myth, fairy tale, legend. Well, we're going to go on to the spirit this week, and we're going to talk about something. I've got a story, and it's one of those stories I haven't told Tim, I haven't told Eric, because I wanted to get their reaction for it and to get their ideas and answers to what they think it could be. I found it quite interesting. And I'll be honest with you, I've seen it on TV happen once, right? But you know what TV's like. You don't know about the credibility of the channels, and you don't know about the credibility of the people that are doing it. You know, in my opinion, most of them are just lying gits, right? So, you know, even if it is real, who knows? You can't 100% say it is. But myself and Viv, about, I don't know, quite a few months ago now, maybe 7 or 8 months ago, we went to a place in Cambridge, and it was called the Skeptic Society. And it was run by a few people from Cambridge University, you know, academics and what have you. I don't know what me and Viv were doing there. I think we took a wrong turn. But anyway, we went to it, and we went to one of the chats, and there was parapsychologist there, and he was giving a talk, and he's one of the renowned ones in this country. And very nice chap. And he was giving a talk, and we were just generally talking about lots of different bits and bobs. Hi, Nicola. And anyway, during the break, his friend who actually had organised this event, his friend was a psychologist. Yeah, a lot of it isn't, William. A lot of it isn't exactly. His friend, who was actually a bona fide psychologist and worked for the University of Northampton, the same as the parapsychologist did, he said, put your hand up if you believe in, you know, the existence of life after death. So, of course, a few of them didn't because they were skeptics. Most of them, they kept an open mind, which I think is the best thing to do. But myself and Viv, we kind of reluctantly put our hand on it. But, you know, so anyway, we did that. And he was just talking, and he was saying that he lived in a house that was built at the turn of the 20th century. So it wasn't a really old house. This is about 1901 this house was built. But back in the 20s, late 20s, in his house, there was, I can't think if it was a doctor or a solicitor, but he lived there with his wife. And for whatever, they got into it one evening, and he shot her dead. He killed her. Then he turned the gun on himself, and he went into his study, and he locked himself in, and then he killed himself. Just took his own life. So, okay, so far so good. But he said that, and now this is come from psychologists. Now they don't really, they don't really give up these type of stories freely, because obviously psychologists, they remain on the fence a lot of the time. Purely and simply, they justify it by that they have to remain on the fence to be seen as credible. If they go too far that way, and they admit that there could be something going on, then they're generally ridiculed and laughed at. Not so much in this day and age now, because a lot of people are opening up their minds to, you know, the reality that there could be something, or there is something. But he said that what he did, he could hear the husband and wife in the house.
Bloody hell.
Arguing with each other and talking with each other. And it was, the topics of what they were arguing about were stuff that was relevant. Not as relevant today as it was then. So it wasn't stuff that they would have argued over. It wasn't the fight they had. It wasn't something that was residual, although he did initially think it was. He thought it was residual, but it turned out it wasn't, because the conversations they were having had nothing to do with the night that he murdered her and then took his own life. And what he said he got to the point of doing is going down to the house getting up in the morning and saying good morning to them, and then both of them replied back to him, good morning, with his name.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So he had a kind of an interaction going on with his spirits. This was an intelligent haunting that were interacting with him through the veil, you know? So, their spirits are there. I don't know if they're trapped there or they were just visiting or in visitation. But he said that it every morning. And he could say good night to them, and they would say good night to him, or anything. Little interactions that he would get going between them. And this got me thinking, and it perplexed me, because obviously we've all had interactions. I mean, you've had interactions. I'm sure
Nicola.
you guys have had interactions. Hiya, Nicola.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. I'm sure you guys have had interactions.
Hello. Hey.
Across. Hello. With things like ghost boxes or things like ovuluses and stuff like that. But even with those interactions, you can't really see if they're credible or not, because, you know, it's done through radio stations. With the Ovilus, it's a random word, you know, it's random words that it throws out that we could give significance to that weren't there. But this was a bona fide interaction that he had between himself and the spirits that were residing in his house. Now I thought to myself, well, you know what? Could it be that the timelines, there's a thin line between the timelines, and he's interacting with them in this time, but they're interacting with him in their time. And then I thought, well, no, it couldn't be. Because if it were that, surely they'd be asking questions like, who are you? Where are you? What's going on here? And trying to speak to him like he was the spirit. Right? So I kind of thought that can't be it. That can't be it.
Yeah.
And the more I think of it, the more it's one of those things that perplexes me. But by the same token, it's one of the most significant things I think that could give credibility to the fact that there is life after death, or there is another dimension beyond that veil. I believe in it completely. But this thing gives you some sort of bona fide credibility.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, to get up, but for a guy in his position, who's the chair of a university, he was not only was he a professor, but he was a chair. To get up and admit that to a room of basically Cambridge University skeptics, you know, where he could be ridiculed and he could be just treated like crap, was it gave me to me that's bona fide, because why would you wouldn't do that, would you? You wouldn't put yourself wouldn't put yourself out there like that. And the thing is that the parapsychologist that he was with, he didn't poo-poo it either. And so I don't know, but I would love to have spoke to him if I'd have had the opportunity and said, look, is there any chance I can come round your house and hear you interact with these people?
Yeah.
But I didn't. I wish I had, but I didn't. But yeah, it's interesting. And it is one of those things that still perplexes me, but by the same token, really excites me. The thought of it really excites me. What do you guys think? Because I've seen it. I saw it once on TV where they'd had a conversation and they picked up this, not electronic voice, but they picked up this voice across time where they asked it where it was now, and then the voice asked them where they were. So they clearly couldn't see each other. But what do you think? What do you guys think? I want to throw it to you and see what you think.
Hi, Noreen.
Hi, Noreen.
Noreen. Did you say he was Northampton, Dan?
Northampton University.
Yeah, that's my place.
That's your neck of the woods, mate.
Yeah.
Neck of the woods.
I tell you, if they communicate with us, then it's what it's there, isn't it? I mean, I think I've mentioned it before, but we investigate regularly down a local area, Delapre Abbey, down Bar Cotton, which is my hometown. I've been going there since I was a little boy. Since I was 18 months old, I've been going there on walks, and Emma's been scratched there on the back of the neck.
Me too.
And we've chatted on 2 or 3 occasions with a spirit called Roger.
See, and the thing
that is what you're talking about, isn't it? That's
and the thing is that we don't know, do we? The thing is, because you've been going there for so long, I think that they do build up a rapport with certain people, and they recognise certain people and think, oh, you know what? I'm all right with this person because they're here all the time. I know them. I've seen them grow up. I know who they are, because they're more aware of what's going on, I think, than we are. Yeah. A lot more aware than we are, you know. Oh, yeah. It's like when I do investigations, and I always say to people, you know, like, they say, all right, we're gonna leave the house now, and we're gonna do this, we're gonna get out, and we're gonna leave you to it. Or if it's a pub, they say, all right, we're gonna lock up, and we're gonna go home, or we're gonna go upstairs, and we're gonna leave you to it. It's like, no. Make sure that 1 or 2 of you stay here, because these energies, these spirits may not want to interact with us, but they will interact with you. Yeah. You know? And, you know, because they're going to see you as part of the furniture. They're going to see you as a friend. Because they've got, even though you can't see them, they've probably got used to you as a character. And you know, they're warm to you.
That's exactly right. I think, you know, we've got 2 or 3 places we go to. We've got Delapre Abbey, and we've got Ancient St. John's, and we go there regular. And you can tell the difference. Because we go there regular. Yeah. You know, they must be. Can you imagine someone turns up there with their little cat ball, and they put it on the floor and say, light that cat ball up. They must think, what the Christ?
Yeah. If somebody turns up on your house and says, I want you to do X, Y, and Z, you go, piss off. Or you just ignore them
Yeah,
when you
right.
walk off. You know what I mean?
They're
I interact with a
people.
guy called Peter in my local cemetery and interacts with other spirits as a go-between.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
that's, I
Brian.
mean, that's the thing, isn't it? That's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Well,
The one,
I've heard of two different sides of the story. I've heard of direct interaction with something, and also heard of people saying that the ghost asked them if they're ghosts, we're ghosts, the investigators. So it's just kind of weird,
well, how do we know we're not ghosts?
Yeah.
We don't, do we? We don't really. I mean, yeah, we can say, well, we know we're not because people that we love die and pass over. But how do we know that we haven't died somewhere else and then passed? We don't know, do we? We just don't know, which is what makes it intriguing and interesting. And it's like an onion, isn't it? There's so many different layers to reality and to the universe that you would never get to the bottom of it. I mean, the one thing I remember, Eric was telling, he said you should tell the story of the interaction that you had. And I said, well, I've told it quite a few times. I'm sure people are used to it, but I'll run through it. So we did an investigation a few years ago, me and Viv, and we went out to it was a farmhouse in Norfolk, and this was, no, it's a lie, farmhouse in Lincolnshire. Now, this farmhouse was out in the middle of nowhere, and God knows how we found it, really, because it was just completely pitch black around there. But the farmhouse, rather than being to the front, was set back in a field, or in field what used to have crops in it. So anyway, we saw it, we went over to it, we shook hands with the people that invited us there. We went in to set up, and when I went in, there was quite a few people there. I think I've told it a few times. So we walked in, myself and Viv, and I went first. She was outside, then she came in behind. There was a few people in the hall bit. As you walk in sort of through what used to be the back door, and then you walk into like a utility area. And then to the left, you've got another door. And in there's a lounge, and there's in the lounge there's a staircase that goes up, and the front doors to that side of it. And upstairs there's, I think it was two bedrooms, right? 2 bedrooms. So walked in, 3 guys on the left, a couple of people in the front. Hello, how you doing? Yeah, good. 3 guys on the left. Are you? How you doing? Yeah, great. Nice to see you. Dirty. And then there was another couple, husband and wife. And there was a couple of guys that were up. There was quite a few of us in there, a few guys that were upstairs. So you're walking around and you're getting a general lay of the land and what have you. And I walked in, and as I walked in, I was at the bottom of the stairs, and and all of a sudden, they were setting their equipment up, and they had, which was new at the time. I think they're quite old hat now, but they had a paranormal music box, which obviously has got a PIR. So that if something gets in front of it and breaks the beam, then obviously it sets it off and it plays creepy music and whatever, that type of thing. And it was going off all the time. And I was looking at it and thinking, this is okay, right, okay. So the guy that was standing to my left, I said to him, oh, that's going off. What's going on with that? Well, I said, I've just bought one. I don't really know the hows and twos of them, but I would like to get some sort of idea about them because, you've got one. Can you tell me a bit about it? So, for example, I said, is that going off because I've set it off and it's just resetting itself, or it's rejigging itself, or is it going off for any other reason? He said, no, it's going off because there's interaction with it. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's odd. And it kept stopping and going off and stopping and going off, and people were looking at it and stuff like that. And then it just stops. And I said, well, that's really good, really good. So Bryce said he learned over time that he was in spirit through our conversations. He's asked me all sorts and things. I dress funny, and I'm ancient, as he considers himself. 50. Yeah, they did, didn't they? The youngsters back then, bless them.
And then he's.
Oh, thanks, Nicola.
He's a tuner.
Well, yeah.
Where'd Dan go?
So anyway, I was talking to him and having a conversation with him. And then we left, and we had to go to there was a second venue that we had to go to, which was a restaurant. But the restaurant itself was in a building that went back to the 1500s. Went to the second one, and I turned around and said for some reason, I said to Bill, oh, they're lovely guys. I was talking to them guys, the group that turned up, the 3 guys that turned up. She went, what 3 guys? And I went, the 3 guys. She went, there wasn't 3, there was 2. Then I said, no, there's 3, Viv. No, she went, there's 2. I said, I'll tell you what you look like. He was a little guy, getting maybe 70, maybe not very old, not very big, you know, explain what he looked like, give her a bit of a rundown on that. And she went, there wasn't anybody there like that. And I went, yeah, no, there was, because I was talking to him. So she went, no, Dan, there's not. Well, and she said, the others are coming over in a minute, have a word with them. And I thought that she's winding me up here. She's had a word with them to try and throw me and have a bit of a laugh at my expense, which I don't care. It's funny, isn't it? So anyway, they turned over and they went, no, there wasn't anybody there. And then the other guys turned up. There's only 2 of them. And I said to them, where's the other guy? And they went, well, what other guy? And I went, the guy that was with you. And they went, there wasn't any guy with us. I went, yes, there was. There was a smaller guy. No, not with us, they went. I went, yes, there was. So Viv still thinks nobody saw this guy apart from me. And I was having a chat with him. So nobody saw this guy apart from me. I'm not going to say that this was an entity or a spirit, right? I'm not going to say that because I don't know. Yeah. All I can say is I had this experience. I saw this person. I had a chat with the person. Everybody else swears blind he wasn't there. And I never saw him from that evening at the new venue. I only saw him at the old venue, the old house. So I still don't know. It does perplex me because I think to myself, well, it's one of them things where I just don't know, you know?
Yeah.
But then on top of that, I had another experience. And I'm not going to say that it's a ghost, because the reason I'm reluctant to use the word ghost or spirit, because I don't know what a spirit or a ghost is. Yeah. So all I say is it's something I can't explain. But that's my closest that you'll get to me saying, well, it was a ghost or a spirit. But I can't think what else it could have been. And it was, again, Lincolnshire. I've had these things in Lincolnshire for some reason. Come back from Lincolnshire we'd done it was an old stately home. It's fallen apart, and we got the basement and a little bit of the first floor. And we did investigations in there. Absolutely nothing that night. It was a typical investigation, not sausage. Maybe the odd footstep, but, you know, it could have been anybody. Sound travels in them places, doesn't it? You know, empty buildings. So coming home, and I'd come off this roundabout and I turned onto this open field bit. And as I turned onto the field, it was raining and it was freaking cold. And the headlights, there's a car in front of me, and his headlights hit something to the left. Yeah, maybe, Brian, maybe. I don't like to say it was or it wasn't, because, you know, it's open to interpretation, I think.
Yeah.
But, so I saw this figure to the left in his headlights, and I thought, hang on, what the hell's that? So I slowed down a bit and I looked to the left, and there was a girl there, and she was standing there, and she had a kind of long skirt, but she was sort of turned to me, and you could just see the side. She had, remember the old duffel coats?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had one of them on. Very 70s. Very 70s.
Yeah.
Skirt was long and plaid, and she had like Wellingtons on. So, well, she's clearly dressed for the weather. But she had a bag there, and the bag looked like it was a bag from like a Wavy Line bag.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if anybody remembers the Wavy Lines, but there were shops here. There were little supermarkets here back in the 70s, and they were called Wavy Line. They might have been just a small thing, but they were over here. So she had this bag that was very 1970s, and she stood there like this, and it was rain was hitting her, the wind was hitting her, and I thought, oh, fuck, I know what that is, right? So I didn't, it was like my brain was still trying to work out what was happening. Paddington's, yeah. I should have done, checked under the hood, so she had marmalade sandwiches. Yeah. But anyway, I drove on a little bit, and maybe 100 yards. And I thought to myself, do you know what? If that's someone's daughter, that's, yeah, exactly. Why? Exactly. Exactly. If that's someone's daughter and she's had a falling out with a boyfriend and he's decided to kick her out of the car at 3 a.m, and she's stuck there, or she's a young girl with mental. I'm saying young girl. I got the impression she was a young girl. You know, don't know why. Just couldn't see her face, see her hands and that, but just couldn't, you know. And I thought, I can't, in good will, drive on and leave her out here, because if that was my child, I'd want somebody to pull over and make sure she was all right. And if she's got mental health problems, then phone the police or what have you, you know?
Yeah.
Get them to come down and sort it. So I thought, I can't. But I just fucking knew that she was real, but she wasn't there. She was there, but she was, I knew what she was. I just knew it. So I turned around and I went back. And now you got to think, where I was, the fields were open, they were vast, nothing. You could see it's flat as a witch's tit, as they say, the old proverbial. And there was nothing, no housing, miles that way or miles that way, right in the middle of the sticks. And I turned around, went back, and I pulled over to the left-hand side, got out, she was gone. Gone.
Yeah.
Walked across to where she stood.
You're giving me chills now.
Yeah.
I walked across. I could tell you countless ghostly stories that would make you hear. I haven't got any here.
Yeah.
Not much of it, William, but yeah. But I walked across to where she was stood because I thought to myself, or maybe I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe she fell over, fell down, but there weren't any ditches there. So I looked and looked and looked, stood where she's more or less where she's next to where she stood. Wasn't there. Nothing there. Nothing. She was gone. She was gone like that. And it's like, but the way that she was standing there, it was like, and I said to Viv, the one thing, when I see something that's not right, the thing that happens with me is in my head, I get this light bulb that goes, what's wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with this picture. You know, don't normally get that, but there's something not right with this picture. And then I know that there's something a bit, not that it happens a lot, hasn't happened to me a lot, but the occasions that it has, this has always been the light bulb that's gone into my head. And I looked and looked and looked and I couldn't find her. And I don't know why, but I've got a feeling, and it's a real stretch, right? But I've got a feeling this girl was murdered, and I've got a feeling that her body is somewhere there.
Yeah.
For some reason. I don't know why. But as frightened as I was, and I was nervous, I thought, I can't leave her in case someone's got her, man. I've got to make sure that she's all right. I can't leave a girl like that, a vulnerable girl in the middle of nowhere, 3 o'clock in the morning, at the mercy of some arsehole. You know? So, and if it was my daughter, I'd only want somebody to be happy enough over the moon if somebody did that for my kid.
Yeah.
So, but that was it. And that was one of that. That's the one that sticks to me even more so than the guy in the house. But but the one thing it makes me think is, you could be fucking talking to people and you don't know who you're talking to.
Yep.
You could be talking to spirits, angels, whoever, at any given point, and not even know who you're interacting with.
Exactly.
I could be a spirit. Well, you know.
Well, the thing is, when people say to me, "Oh, I've never seen one," it's like, "Well, how do you know?"
How would you know? Yeah.
How would you know?
Yeah, I had this conversation the other day. Yeah.
You know, and it's true, isn't it? You wouldn't know.
No.
You know, lots of.
I had the weirdest thing happen to me the other day, and I don't know if you heard the story yet, Dan, because you've been gone for a little while. But I was dead asleep. Now I take powerful meds to stay asleep. Otherwise, I'm up every 2 hours.
Yeah.
In the middle of the dead night, I hear a hello, and a British woman's voice. Sounded like it was coming from outside. And I'm like, hello? Somebody out there? There's no British people here at all. Not in my town.
I was going to say, well, Viv, was it?
No, it wasn't Viv. It wasn't, I don't know who it was. It was younger. It wasn't Viv's voice, because I know Viv's voice. You know, and I've never heard any other voice like it. It was just something like.
Did you know where it was coming from? Was it coming inside your home or outside? Or
it sounded like it was out. I had my window open because it was nighttime and it's cool here at night, so I could sleep decent. It sounded like it was coming from that direction outside. That's why I like, there's somebody out there, and I'm like, I don't know. This is really weird.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird, isn't it? It's odd. I used to live in a place called Weir years ago, and we heard it was Hazel and myself. We heard it. You could hear it, and right in the back garden by the window, we heard German voices. Like it was German. They were speaking German, and we thought, "Oh, somebody's in the freaking garden." Right? It was literally like that. Because like you have the window open because it's getting the fresh air and stuff. And you could hear it. And then I went up and it stopped. As soon as I got to the window, it stopped. And I looked out and there was nobody there. And it's like, where the hell's that come? But it could be anything, couldn't it? It could be, it depends how many clears you have, Dan. I hear, see, smell, and see. Yeah, I don't. Do you know what, Brian? I know people say, "Oh, everybody's got these abilities," and I don't know. I don't know. I'm not very sensitive, really. I don't think I've got any really. But you know, I must admit though, since I've been with Viv, I mean, I know Viv forever, but since me and Viv have been working together again over the last few years, working with her seems to have triggered something in me that is making me more perceptive. If you know what I mean, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense because, I talked to William Becker. We had a meeting and he helped me find out who my first spirit guide was. And then I found out the second one just by dreaming by it.
You dreamt?
Yeah, I dreamt it.
That's interesting. Who were your spirit guides, if you don't mind me asking? Are you allowed to say? Are you allowed to say it or not? I don't know if you.
Yeah, I'm allowed to say it. I don't. The first one was they're both animals, which is weird to me. But
spirit guide can be anybody or anything, can't it? Yep. I guess.
But it was a white hare because it was a bigger rabbit. I call them rabbits here. You guys call them hares when they're bigger. And the other one was a Highland coo or a cow.
Yeah, it could be anything, can't it? I mean,
blimey.
I don't know what she's referring to.
Oh, doppelganger.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know.
Not the person that was talking to me outside the window wouldn't be a doppelganger. Doppelganger is what I saw when I was a child. I don't think it was a doppelganger because it didn't scare me or anything. I just saw myself down the hallway in my grandma's house. And that was it.
Well, they do say, don't they, that some spirits can actually mimic the look as well as the sound of. I mean, I had that with a spirit once.
Yeah.
I did an investigation, and this was a nasty individual. This spirit, by all accounts, because the guy that we went to, it was a friend of mine, his brother, and his brother. You could see his brother was possessed. His brother. I sat him down to have a conversation with him to find out what was going on, to find out whether there was any credence, and I was left cold. Because I was talking to him, and he just looked at me and he started giggling and laughing and smiling. And it was like, you know I'm here. I know I'm here. Everybody knows I'm here. But there's nothing you can fucking do. And he went, anyway, I'm going now. And he just got up and walked out. Right of the conversation, and his brother said to me, and this is what he's like. But the brother came back a little bit later, totally different person. And I said to him, if you check him out for mental health and stuff, you need to get because I can't tell you if he's got mental health or not, but get him checked out. But he said they did have him checked out and he seemed to be, but I don't know. But it's weird, isn't it? Yeah. It's weird.
And by the way, thank you, Brad. And he's right. Well, see, I'd never seen a mountain hare in my life. So, I've seen Highland cows, but yes, it did have the long horns.
Highland cows are lovely, aren't they?
Yeah, it did have the long horns. You are right, Brad. So he got me dead on.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. But I don't know. It's the thought. But getting back to the guy, I mean, the thought that he was very nonchalant about it, this guy. He was like, oh, yeah, I've got to say hello to them, good morning, good night, and hello. And when I get home and they say hello. But both the wife and the husband. And the thing is, you're thinking, if he's killed her, she must be very forgiving.
Yeah.
Because I'm not talking to that prick. You know what I mean? He's killed me. I'm not talking to that prick anymore.
God.
You know?
Yeah, me too, William. Let's see what the two holes here and there. I'm just surprised I can grow this.
Getting longer. Eric. Time you come over.
Until I started losing this, I never was able to grow one of these. So
well, there you go.
You're
There's
tripping
swings
over
and
it.
roundabouts.
You'll be tripping over it soon.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you guys ever heard of anything like that where it's
Oh
there
yeah, I've heard of
interacting?
many stories like that, but it's just really,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, like you said, how do you know you're not talking to a spirit when if you can see him plain as day?
Well, yeah.
Most psychic mediums see him like that, so why couldn't you?
Well, there's some people that you actually get, not that you get a feeling that you don't get frightened or worried, but some people you meet them for a second and you gravitate towards them thinking, what an absolutely amazing and lovely person.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's you know, pure spirit. What was that? The light. Oh, sorry, what was that, Eric?
Oh,
the
like
light.
that, yeah,
Dark, Eric. There's no mountain here changes colour for the seas. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. But
I don't know. All I know is that I was in a forest with a lot of grass and a lot of ancient trees, and I saw an ancient building that was like a ruin, and that I met the hare, and that was it. I met a guy first, but he didn't say anything to me. He just pointed to go down the trail that I was walking on, and then I met the hare. So,
Wow.
it's intriguing, isn't it? It's interesting.
Mm.
Some of these things that we experience are like even in your dreams. You know, some of the things you experience in your dreams, and they make no sense, but clearly there's something going on there, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your
Why would you
subconscious.
dream like that? Yeah.
You know, it's like your subconscious.
Some dreams are really, really nonsensical, aren't they?
Oh, just madness.
Some
isn't it?
dreams you have,
Madness.
like they're like illogical and right out there.
Well,
Yeah.
the funny thing about the dream is that it was about using your abilities that nobody else knew about. You know, your hidden abilities. That's what the whole dream was about. So that was really weird.
I do think as well that they can communicate with you in sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they can, from the spirit world, can communicate
absolutely.
you in sleep. You know, maybe sleep's just another dimension of that, might it? That might be another dimension of beyond the veil. It might be, you know, when you sleep. It's like I had this thought one day, and I thought, I wonder if it's, you know, sometimes you sit there and things hit you.
Mm-hmm.
And we were doing things like, we were doing spirit boxes, and we were doing EVPs. And some of the EVPs you get, they're either garbled.
You too, William.
That maybe sometimes they've got a bit of significance. Yeah, I've had that, William. It's horrible.
I had a,
Very cryptic. You just, yeah. I had a thought one day, and I'm sure other people had the same thought. You know, I'm not saying that it's just my thought. I'm sure other people had the same thought. And it was about EVPs and spirit box, mainly EVPs. And it was about when you play a voice recorder back, sometimes you get something that's significant to a question that you've asked, but there'll be a bit of an answer in there, but then there'll be a load of gobbledygook, or you get a completely different answer. And then it dawned on me, well, we do our investigations a lot of the time, 90% of the time, at night in the early hours of the morning. And people are in bed and asleep in the early hours of the morning. So how do we know that we're not picking up astral travel voices from people in their sleep?
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff that comes out in sleep is complete shite. Mean nothing.
Yeah,
mean anything. So maybe we're picking up people that are astral traveling, or the spirit is communicating with us, the spirit or energy is communicating with us through the sleep. You know? It might be bollocks, but it's just these little thoughts that come to you. And then that can open up a whole new dimension, can't it? Which makes me wonder, is sleep is it just a different putting your toe into a different dimension?
Yeah. You basically are. When you go into a sleep, when you go into REM sleep, your body is muscles are supposed to shut down so you don't sleepwalk, even though some people do once in a while. But your mind has its freedom to do whatever it wants. So
yeah, it's true. It's true. It's interesting, isn't it? It's just I don't know, it intrigues me.
Yeah, it does.
It's
mind-blowing.
It is, and that could all be part and parcel of communication, couldn't it? It could be all communicating through that. I don't know, but It is interesting. It is interesting. But I don't know what anybody.
The old subject's mad. I mean, did you see, for instance, did you see the footage I took down there at Priaby of the thing in the
yeah.
Now you saw that on.
Yeah.
You did see it, didn't you?
Yeah. You can see it. Yeah.
Last week, I don't know if you know of him. He's called Andy Decodes. I don't know if you've seen him.
No.
I think he might have been on your program once. Alienate show. Anyway.
Yeah.
I went on it. I sent him. He's a local man, same as lives here in Northampton, and I sent him the video, and he was blown away by it. He saw it and everything. And I went on his show last week on his podcast, and he put it up on. Well, his co-host put it up on the screen, and there's nothing there.
Wow.
What?
There was nothing there.
Huh.
He's looking at it. He's looking at it on his phone and stuff.
No. There was stuff there because I saw it.
Yeah, but when he put it up on live, it wasn't there.
It's fucking amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking amazing, isn't it?
It had gone. Now I've heard of this before. I've heard of people having fantastic footage and
I've had it with
EVP,
EVPs.
and when they later on, it's not on there. It's gone.
I've had it with EVPs.
Now this was quite embarrassing, as you can imagine.
But I bet he's seen it before though.
Yeah. He saw it. And he enhanced it and everything because he's a bit of a tech man. And but when he put it up on live on YouTube, there weren't nothing there on the screen.
Whoa. Do you know what? I did a couple of same thing, but with audio. Did an investigation, 4 of us in this church in Norfolk, little church, not very old, 1700s. But there'd been a church there prior to it that went back a lot earlier. So in this church, and this church is proper haunted. The reverend there, the vicar there, is a bastard. He's proper nasty, right?
Oh.
I haven't caught audio of him. A friend of mine caught audio of him, and you can hear him saying to my friend, "Oi, you down there, get out of my pulpit. I'll fucking strangle you, you bastard." This is what he says to him, right? This is what he says to him. Anyway, we go there. There's a guy sitting here. I'm sitting here. And we hear a voice. Right? I look over. He looks at me. He nods. Like, I've heard that. You nod, yeah. Like, nod back. Anyway, we go away. And I've got it on EVP. He's got it on EVP. Right? We check. Oh, yeah, there it is. Then we'll go home and I run through it and I check. There's about 4 different EVPs on there, right? Really, really pronounced, right? Male. A male. I press the times, I lock it in, right? This is where you need to check. That's where send it over to another investigator so they can go through it and listen to it. He does the same. All the EVPs are gone.
Yeah.
All gone. She sends me a thing. There aren't any EVPs. Yeah, there are. Are you checking the times? Yeah, I'm checking the times. I went, let me go back. I listen. They're not there anymore.
Jeez.
Yeah. I've heard of
How's
this
that
before.
work?
I've heard of this before.
Yep, so have I.
But
Yeah.
the thing is the same, but with your footage. It's got to be harder to do with footage, surely, with video.
I know.
Have you checked the video? Have you checked it yourself?
Yeah.
since?
It's still on my copy.
Oh, wow.
Well, somebody doesn't want to get out there, but you know.
No. And it's still on his phone as well, but yet when he put it up on the screen, there's nothing there at all. But it's so clear. He put it up and I'm looking at it, and it's not there. And he went, yeah, there. I said, no, it's not there. And it weren't there when he put it on YouTube.
It's as clear as a bell on your
on the live
video.
I know. It was quite embarrassing.
That is why, right? That is why there should be a data bank where it's a shame that people are so covetous with their information, because
Yeah.
if people were a little bit more open and shared their experiences and the results, whether it be an experiment or not, if they shared them results, then not only that, if you had the same result or a similar result, you can go onto the internet or onto the bank and check and cross-reference it against other people's. And that way you can build up a dossier or a file of what kind of activities there and what replays itself, what happens, interactions. But people are loath to share it.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? What? I don't know why you're loath to share a lot of it, because at the end of the day, nobody can do anything with it.
No.
You know? What's that? So William says, "Oh, Bryce, excuse my spelling. My eyes ain't good. I don't, Bright, I'm the same." William, so personally, don't understand these gadgets some people use. If only they tune their minds into the environment, then they would get. No, the reason we use the machines is so that we've got credible evidence to show to other investigators.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. Your body, your vibration, everything works so much better for picking up that type of stuff. And it myself is almost like, because it's not physical voice, it fades away. Yeah. Maybe you're only meant to see these things for a certain period. But then you get pictures of spirits, don't you, that are there for about a century, like 100 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that one guy that we talked to that one Wednesday, he did he does experiments like this, and he put just tape, not in a recorder or anything, up on something, and whatever it was, put a voice imprint onto the tape. It's really cool.
I do think as well that I like digital. Don't get me wrong; it's easy to use. You haven't got a lot of bits, but I do like analog, because I think with analog, with the old recorders, I think that you can pick up stuff with them a lot better than you can with a lot of the digital stuff. And it's the same with cameras, old school cameras. I think because there's not so much technology, so what you get is what you get, isn't it? You know, what you get is quite credible. Whereas with the new stuff, you can't. Well, it could be anything that's causing a lot of these images, you know, unless of course they're perfect.
And again, I can't knock technology because I make it.
No, do you know what? It's not anything, and don't get me wrong. There's a place for technology because it does verify the experiments that or the experiences we have. Yeah. So you can say, well, hang on, I heard that, and then that goes off. Yeah, okay, that's a double. That's a win-win. You know, so there is a place for it.
But I do agree, though, that you have to use your natural senses too. So
yeah, but if you want to then show that evidence to somebody,
that's what it's all about, sharing evidence. They a lot of Polaroid. People like Polaroid. Didn't they use the Polaroid in the skull experiment? Yeah.
They used the old was it the 8mm? I can't remember the old film case, didn't they?
Yeah.
They dropped it in and got stuff off of there. A lot of that from the skull experiment now, I think, has been ridiculed.
Yeah. I just seen again on my favorite show, or one of my favorite shows, Destination X or Expedition X. She was using a Polaroid to take pictures.
Yeah.
Perfectly catching stuff.
Yeah. I know people use, and they get good results from the old. You know, well, you can buy the new ones now. The Instamatics.
Yeah.
Where it takes the photo and it produces the picture straight away. People have good results with them.
Yep.
People have good results with them. Again, it's going back to the old school stuff. You know, I mean, I think we threw too much of the old stuff out, thinking, this is the way to go. When really we should be going back to using some of the original stuff that worked very well for past ghost hunters.
Yeah.
You know? Hello.
Hey, Rose.
So yeah, it's just odd, isn't it? It's just very, very odd.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, you know, what I'd like to do is I'd like to get a room where we can all, like a load of us, people on air, whoever, we could meet up one day, sit round, have a bloody tea and biscuits or whatever, and just talk this shit out, talk some of this stuff out, and like, different ideas.
Let's do it next year when I come over.
We should do it.
Can we do it? Can we do it in a pub with beer instead of tea?
Oh yeah, no, it's got to be beer, isn't it? Yeah. If anybody out there would like to do that, would like to come along.
Oh yeah.
Do you know if the Ram Inn, do they serve food and beer and stuff? down there?
Well, the Ancient Ram, no, it's not a pub
No.
anymore. Not
Not a
licensed
pub anymore.
Is there a
It's,
pub near it?
it's there you go. Excellent. Oh, well done, Nico. Excellent. Well done, Lorna.
Yeah,
Excellent. Well
yeah.
done,
Let's
Leslie.
do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'll find somewhere, and then we can probably, I don't know. It's got to be, I don't know, somewhere, maybe somewhere in sort of central, maybe Derbyshire.
Yeah, somewhere where we can all get to. Yeah.
Derbyshire, and then we can
I don't
find.
know.
I'll sort that. I will sort that, and I will definitely have somewhere.
Oh,
I'll do like
Weatherspoons.
I'll do like a
You
Weatherspoon.
got that.
Yeah.
I
Cheap.
can.
Hi, Lorna.
Hi, Lorna.
Yeah. Cheap, innit?
Well,
You always
without
get to-
doubt, Sarah, I've got to get you there as well.
You have the taxi on my list, Sarah.
Skirrod. Yeah, Abergavenny, innit? Skirrod.
I think it is. Yeah. Oh, you've been there, Tim. You done it.
I used to live in Wales.
Oh, there you go then.
And I used to go through Abergavenny on the way home sometimes, yeah.
Wales is beautiful, isn't it?
But I've not actually been into the pub. No, I wasn't really investigating much then. So
It's even as a pub, it's a nice building.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going all over.
Wales is lovely.
Yeah.
I suppose you've got a few on your list for Wales, Eric, haven't you? I'll say
Oh, yeah, I got quite a few on my list for Wales.
100.
Wales, Scotland, England, even Ireland, but that's not going to be for another 2 years before
That's all
Ireland.
right.
Yeah. You'll be knackered, mate.
You will be.
That's not much of a vacation, but I'd rather do that than just sit around all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no point in just sitting around. That's boring, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I know some people love these beach holidays, don't they? I can't do a beach.
No.
That's my head in.
No.
I'm bored. Yeah, Wales is lovely, Noreen. Yeah, it is. It is lovely.
Yeah, we used to have a little B&B there in Swansea Valley.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
How long were you there?
About 8 years.
Exactly, right. Yeah, it's nice there.
Yeah.
Weatherspoons.
Gotta love a Weatherspoons. As soon as
You
I
always
hit a
get-
different
You always get a good pint in Weatherspoons because
And cheap.
they shift it so quick, don't they?
yeah, they do. As soon as I hit a town, I look for a Weatherspoons.
Yeah. 180 a pint. Bloody hell.
I know, it's mental, isn't it? Oh, there you go. Anglesey. Your mum was born in Anglesey. There you go.
Ah. Yeah, that's an island.
And I'm making Sarah drive me around Wales. So
Wales has got loads of history in Wales, mate. Loads of history. All over Europe, yeah, Britain it is. But
yeah, it is. And I mean, I know there's history back far here, but you got to remember, you're a smaller country, number one, and number two, your history with wars and everything else is a lot older than ours.
we love a row, us British.
You've got to go Cornwall, Eric. That's the place to go.
Yeah,
I'm
Cornwall's
going all
stunning.
over. I got
Yeah.
Cornwall's breathtaking, isn't it? And
That's the best. That's the best part of it, Britain.
It's like
Mark,
fairyland,
I
mate.
shared my map to my Facebook page, so anybody wants to look at it and tell me places to add to it would be great. So
Cornwall's like fairyland, isn't it, Tim?
Yeah.
Cornwall's amazing. It's like a fairy tale place. It's beautiful.
You can feel.
That is a
it
very
with
cool
dust.
flag, Sarah.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's Tintagel. I love Tintagel.
Mm.
Well, Port Merion, yeah. Port Merion's lovely.
We've got Wales now. Yeah.
Port Merion's really nice. I went there to the that's where they did the prisoner, isn't it? Port Merion.
Yeah, with the coloured buildings.
That's it. Right, well, we're coming up to the end of the evening then.
Yeah.
Tonight, that was a really good one. Thanks, guys. I really enjoyed that. Hope everybody else enjoyed it. I'm going to run through. We've got Bri coming up tomorrow with Ian and Nettie, and I can. What the Do you know what? I'm going to have to get in my head the name of the show. Does anybody remember the name of the show? I'm sure.
I keep saying it wrong, so don't ask me.
No.
What is it? What is it?
It's not Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday, which is absolutely brilliant. I really enjoy watching those guys. A lot of fun, a lot of good stuff on their show. So they'll be coming up tomorrow night. I think they're at 8:00, aren't they, tomorrow evening?
I might said it. Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday. There you go. So thanks, Nettie. Cheers, Terry. Good to see you in the chat, Terry. Oh, blimey, last Gavin and Stacey. Do you know what? I like Gavin. I just can't stand
Me
that.
too.
I can't stand that fat prick.
No.
Can't stand him. Really can't stand the bloke. Yeah, so that'll be good. So Freaky Friday, that's a real good one. Really enjoy that. The guys have some great chats on there, some great stuff they come out with. Absolutely brilliant. So they're on tomorrow night. Saturday, I think, is William on Saturday night? I think William's on Saturday night.
Is it going to be the first weekend or the first on the weekend? First and third Friday or first and third Saturday of every month.
That might be young William. And then we've got on Monday the Boys from the Dark Mirror show. Tuesday.
And then next big one on Sunday, I think, too.
Tuesday will be Simply Spooky again. That's through Things, I think, isn't it, on Tuesday? It's up in that loop long enough. Yeah. And then Wednesday, it'll be Simply Spooky again with me and Viv and Eric. I don't know what's happening next week with that.
Shadow and Light
then
on
we're
Sunday.
back to Thursday again, which will be us boys. I don't know what we're chatting about next week. We'll come up with something. I don't know. Do you want to pick something, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Young Tim will pick something for us for next week. So that'll be
good. I'll have a look.
Well done, mate. And then we're back to Freaky Friday again next Friday.
Are we all right to get some guests on, Dan?
Yeah. We can. Have you got anybody in mind?
A couple of ideas, but I haven't asked yet. But
that's cool, mate. Yeah, of course we're all right.
I'll obviously let you know first.
No, that's fine, mate. That's fine. Absolutely fine.
Right.
Do whatever you want. That's absolutely fine. So me and the boys will be back next week. Hope you enjoyed this evening. Shadow and Lights, of course, Nettie. I'm sorry, Nettie. Oh yes, Shadow is Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah,
Shadow and Lights on Sunday evening. I think it's 7:00. Is it 7:00, Nettie? Sorry, Nettie.
Yeah. I watched Nettie's show the next day, Monday afternoon, because I can't see it until.
No, it's good. It's good. It's Shadow's Lights. It's good.
Brilliant show. Yeah,
it is. There's some good shows out there. Lots of stuff in the.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. 7:00 on a Sunday. So thanks, Nettie. Sorry about that, Nettie.
Thanks, Nettie.
So that's it. So from me and the boys, have a good week. Have a safe week. Have a lovely weekend. Just be safe out there, whatever you're doing, and we'll speak to you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.